Yes.
Hi, how are
Hey,
you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic. I am so on a vibe today. I'm so excited. Welcome to the making of Max Distro. My name is NiKole Maxwell. I am the CEO and head of distribution for the Max Distro worldwide solution for podcasters, broadcasters, live streamers, webinar hostesses, hosters, and more across the world. And I am joined here by the one and only Mark Lee.
How's it going there? Glad to be here. Co-founder along with Nicole of Max Distro, but also many folks will know me as being a journalist, of course, of being involved with the Road to the Apollo, and of course, working over there in Durham at the Hayti Heritage Center, and a number of other things that are there, including being the program manager around there in the pod TV spaces and all along those lines. So just got my hands in a lot of different things, but the one that I am so glad to be a part of is this wonderful company called Max Distro that, like you said, is helping the podcasters, the live streamers, the video casters, as well as folks that might be thinking that they want to do a webinar and definitely need the assistance in a variety of ways. And I understand that, we've got somebody on the team that is a whole, I wouldn't say expert, but definitely a pride and joy in the metaverse space and all along those lines. So I'm looking forward to seeing what we've got going on in Max Distro Metaverse. I understand that there might even be some things going on that involve studios and houses and things that do all kinds of dazzling things. So I'm looking forward to that and definitely looking forward to seeing what's happening with this whole space, because I just love when folks get excited about what they're passionate about. And there is no doubt that you are passionate about the metaverse and particularly the amazing things that can take place in those lanes. So I'm just looking forward to seeing what we've got on hand.
So Mark, you're giving away my secrets.
Sorry.
I wasn't ready to give away the secrets, but the secret is, guys, I have been over here brewing up some stuff today. It is Christmas time, and I'm excited about Christmas time. So today we are going to do something for ourselves. I've been doing stuff for people all year long. It is time to do stuff for myself. And ourselves. So one of the things I was telling Mark is that I am like super, super excited. So first of all, welcome to the making of Max Distro. This is the Marc NiKole Show. Welcome. Do me a favor. Stop, pump your brakes, go out and like, subscribe, reshare, and follow, depending on where you're watching us. Mark already mentioned Pod TV. So, hey, Pod TV family. Also, hello to Roku, to Hulu, to Google Cast, all 19,000 other places where we are. Hello. So that includes Apple, Samsung, Pandora, and all of the places out there where Max Distro gets us, because that's what we are doing. We are building up a decentralized distribution network for podcasters, broadcasters, people who broadcast their voice so that their message can be heard, not just in one place, not just in the one place where that one place wants to put you, but literally everywhere. You see all these little stars up here? Like all those little stars, that's you, because you're a star no matter where you are. And so I'm going to keep coming up with zingers for the rest of my life. But that was a good one. And we're going to mint that on the blockchain too. So everything that I do is in a goal to get people to understand the points and the purpose and the potential behind the decentralized metaverse. And so the decentralized metaverse is being built up. This could also be an episode of the Meta Mind Shift Show, but today this is an episode of Max Distro Live, worldwide, worldwide, live, worldwide and live, all of that, same thing. So I've been busy today, and I went out and I've made an acquisition. One, because when I find things that I like them, and I try to get them. And when it's something cool, I try to do that too. But this one was not on my radar. I wasn't tracking this for any length of time. I saw it today and was like, oh, let's do that. So we did that. So what I did was I went out to On Cyber and I acquired a little ditty, little ditty. So a little ditty. So on Cyber, if you guys follow me, which you should, go to metamindshift.com. You can follow me anywhere and everywhere. You can also find me at I am technikole on Twitter or out on everywhere else, either as NiKole Maxwell, or now MaxDistro or the Metamind Shift Show. But I was out. We had done in the Metamind Shift. We had done a special on Thanksgiving in On Cyber, where we went to the Thanksgiving Day parade. Do you remember that, Mark?
I do remember that. Unfortunately, I did not get to spend as much time as I would have liked there, but I did enjoy the time that I was there, going into a couple of the galleries and, of course, seeing the various balloons. I am actually a fan of that parade, watching it on TV. I've never been to the live version. That's on my wish list, bucket list, whatever folks want to call it, and everything. But I do remember going there and enjoying myself thoroughly in that space. So I'm definitely remembering and wish that I had a chance to be there longer and all in that way, in that kind of space.
And so that space was something that we definitely did together. We had a good time. We hung out on Thanksgiving. We watched the floats and we jumped up really, really high up in the sky. And we went into a couple little galleries. I don't know if you actually got into a gallery or not. But
I think I got into the edge of a gallery, but I don't know that I ever got into
looked
a
at
gallery.
it. You looked at the gallery, right? Yeah. Okay, so that is the same space where we're going today, and so I acquired us a little doohickey today. That is going to be the MaxDistro studio. And so I called Mark in here so that we could record this one. I'm going to live stream this later, but I wanted the real first version to be with us together since this is about the business. So, so we're going to add this to streams. Check this out. Okay, so we're here. And so I've already acquired the property, but this is our first time actually going into it together. So you're going to see that like for real. Oh my God, in real time. So what I did was I went out and I found something that just felt cool to me. And now I have a vision for what I want to do with it. And this is it. So this is our little pod. This is a very cool little space, so you'll see why in a few minutes. But the potential behind this space is like ridiculous. So not only can you put up your NFTs, which is what the point of having a metaverse space is, it's to allow people to enter something with you, a version of the internet that you can get up and walk around inside of. That's the future, right? But it's also interconnected. So I am able to connect to other instances, other portals, other places, as well as pull in technology or pull out technology. So I'm able to pull in some NFTs that I may have acquired from other places and put them up into this one. So we're going to do both of those things using stuff that already exists in my wallet. And I'm gonna show you what that looks like, but we're gonna go for a tour first because tours are awesome. Okay, so I feel like a little kid in a candy store right now. So feel free to chime in and say anything that you want to about the space. So when you first come into this space, you want to fill it out with something. So when I'm looking around this space, when I was looking at whether or not I wanted to acquire this, I was like, okay, well, first of all, I need to make sure that it's real. So I validated and verified that it was on the right contract. And so that's a whole process I'm not going to go through. But if you want consulting on how to do that, reach out to me. But then I also went through and I just started looking at like, so what does it look like to add in my info to this? And then also like, how does it feel to experience it? So I actually went and I searched for this particular space out in the ones that already existed. So I wanted to just see what it looked like, what it felt like to me. And so what I am going to do is Clearly nothing because it's frozen. There we go.
There we go.
Okay, so I'm gonna preview it. Mark, tell me, are you seeing the kind of galaxy view right now?
I'm seeing the galaxy. Well, and then I saw the galaxy view, then the galaxy view disappeared.
And now it's the green thing. Okay, so now we're gonna go in, and so you just click to enter. And now I am in the virtual space. So this again is the internet you can get up and walk around inside of. So think about a store or something of that nature. So when I look to my left, look to my right, I am in a virtual space, up, down. It is virtually mine. So I'm walking through it.
That's a beautiful sky.
Huh?
Such a beautiful sky.
It is a beautiful sky. You know, I would actually change that. So do you want to go up or do you want to go down first?
Yeah, let's go down first.
Okay. As we approach this this dwelling, this is the home pod, right? The studio is also in here. And so that is why it is the MaxDistro Metaverse Studio. So we're going to come down here, and like as you come down here, you're able to actually see that this is literally a bedroom. There's an Ethereum symbol there. And you know, you have your little balcony here. You can look up at the steps and all that stuff. That's cool, but that, you know, it's kind of, it is what it is. But what I want you to notice is all the wall space, because on these walls you can actually put stuff up there. So that stuff would be NFTs. And so if I wanted to decorate this whole thing, and like, let's say my bedroom actually looked like this in real life, I could replicate that look by putting in different pictures, photos, etc. into my virtual space. And now my virtual space is a real life rendition, or is a digital rendition of my room. Now, the one thing that won't be changing is this bed will never get made unless I put an NFT over it, which I might actually do, because, you know, having a messy bed is not actually good luck. So, you know, when I come back here, I have compartments. So I have a whole little storage area right here. So when you're looking at this, I could fill this up with shoes and Louis Vuittons. Or I could put, like, you know, if you're a dude, you could put like your favorite jersey, or you know, we have a cute little teddy bear behind us that is our friend in everything that we do here at MaxDistro. So we could put the MaxDistro bear here. I also am the owner of some wearables, and so those wearables can go on the shelf here. I've not done that yet, so we're actually previewing the blank slate space. And so, you know, I could do that in any one of these. So anyway, so like, look at all the wall space, and on all the wall space, you can envision whatever you want there. What were you saying?
Plenty of wall space. I was looking there at all that shelf space, and, you know, the bear is wonderful and all along those lines. But, you know, maybe at some point we'll have the MaxDistro deer and otter, and they can go hang out there as well. So definitely they can go hang out in that space also. But
you know what? I got a special plan for that deer and the otter. Like, you don't even know what's in my head right now, but I do. We will not be forgetting the deer or the otter. Those are the Mark-ish things. So this is like the living room. If you're looking at this as a home, if you're looking at this in an office, which is what it will be, it is the entryway or the lobby. So this is actually our studio. So this is the lobby, and we're going to fill this up with all sorts of MaxDistro gear and all sorts of MaxDistro stuff. And then you guys, by the time I get done with this, you'll be able to see what it is that I have in my head, because I'm going to spit it all out, and it's going to come all over these walls as the vision that I am putting out into the world. And so this is the studio. So this is the studio up here. So like, you can see, like, there's actually the keyboards and stuff up here. You got the like little space deck feel going on. Mark's station over here. We're gonna put a whole bunch of TVs up here so that we can see all of our MaxDistro customers and commercials that we run. We'll put all that there along these walls and things. And maybe we'll put an otter in one of the chairs. Maybe we'll get like a 3D otter and stick it in one of the chairs, or maybe just a picture of an otter or something like that. But we will find a way.
Otters make great engineers. You didn't know this, but they're actually secretly great engineers, in case you didn't know that.
Who knew? I certainly did not. So that's what this is. Now, what's really cool about this though is that on the outside, so we already went upstairs. I think that's everything there. We went upstairs, downstairs. So like on the outside, like you see this outer ring around here, like it's like kind of chilling. So first of all of those other ones are home portals too. So like those are somebody else's house over there. So like that's the idea, is that each one of those, these are houses in the sky. So each one of those represents somebody else's home pod. And this one is ours. But when we're going around this, like you have each one of these little things right here. It's like a little link that you can walk out on, or like a little stepping stool pod kind of thing. It's a pod, basically. It's a portal. And so you can stick either a picture here, or you can put a gateway into another world. So I am going to put the House of the Dragon's house out here on one of these limbs. And then I am also going to stick in probably like my endometriosis gallery and some other stuff, just to make those connections. But there's that one. And then as you go around, like everywhere that you see one of those little green things, you can actually see that. See?
Yeah, I like that. Well, I like the whole thing. It's amazing. And the view, like I said earlier, is great. Loving this beautiful blue sky and everything. But I did have a semi-serious question, but not overly serious, because as I was seeing those other pods, and that means that there are other houses there. And of course, having grown up in the TV world and all in that space, can you yell at the neighbors across the way, and will they hear you in this kind of a space and everything? Because back in the day, if you watch the old TV shows, people would always be in their places of work or whatever and yelling at their neighbors, whether that was Bonanza or the Waltons or whatever other old TV shows were there. So I was wondering, if we go out there and we talk to the people across the skyway, will they hear us, and will they communicate back?
So if they are that's a great question. If they are in the actual what am I trying to say? If your folks, what am I doing? Why is this not doing this?
It looked like you put it on pause, but I'm not sure if that was intentional.
I did not. Oh no. So anyway, if they're in our space, then you can definitely hang out with them in a virtual space. But if they are not in our space, then you cannot hang out with them.
Okay.
Is what that looks like.
Understood.
Okay, so I have to remember how to do this. Also, in Cyber, you are able to actually go, I believe you can view it in 3 also. So let me I'm gonna switch out of this. And then, if you go visit somebody, make sure that you visit their guest book. So I was here, and this is me hearkening back to like 3rd grade, and now I'm gone. I'm gone. I left this message. Sing it like a song. That's not the words to this.
Gotcha.
All right. So that is what I wanted to showcase for the day. I actually am trying to see if I can get in here and adjust the actual doohickey here.
The doohickey?
The doohickey.
Doohickeys are very good.
See. Okay, we're gonna go backwards. I want to see something. Let's go here. I'm gonna create. It is surely taking its own sweet time.
Yeah, a lot of things are doing that.
No, that's not what I want to do. I want to go back. What is going on? Is it because I'm already here? Create a new space. There we go. Okay, so we're going to create this one. Add an asset, give it a space. It's not letting me do anything.
Well, that's not right.
It is not right. There we go. Okay, so this is going to be the Max Distro. What do I call it? Max Distro Studio Metaverse. Metaverse Studio or Studio Metaverse?
Studio Metaverse.
Metaverse. I think it sounds better the other way, but whatever. All right. Take your message to the max. We are not token gating.
No
We're
token.
going to do a 360 banner. That's, let's see, a 2D banner. Let's do this.
Yeah, well, we're creating the studio just to let folks know, just because it can be fun and it might be just an interesting conversation and everything. But somebody told me, and I won't say who, a little birdie maybe, that I had to an assignment to do and all of that. So they'll be glad to know that at the end of this week or no later than next week, season 1 will be arriving. So I thought I'd surprise them with that right now. So that's already happening.
I forgot which assignment this was. I feel bad now because I know that person was probably me. I don't know.
It had to do something with a show that they just mentioned that they're going to decorate the house with. And so, yes.
Wait. I'm confused now. Don't say the name because I don't know which one you're talking about.
What did you say that you were going to have in the house?
Lots of things.
And it was something in the house that was involving dragons.
Wait, I don't want to publish this yet. Oh, yeah.
Huh?
I don't want to publish this yet. Hold on, Mark Lee.
But you did catch on what I was saying now. Yeah, because there was dragons, and dragons are featured in a certain series.
Oh, season 1. What did you say?
Huh?
What did you say about season 1?
It's going to be in the house in the next before the weekend, if not the latest at the beginning of next week.
Why can I not? Why is this not doing what I want it to do? Now I know I've created like 8,000 different ones of these. Where is my stuff? Speaking of, let's go take a tour of the House of the Dragons by NiKole.
Yes.
Because actually, no, I want to show the Meta Mindshift show. So this is the Meta Mindshift show. Virtual, the House of the Meta Mindshift show is what this is. So this is what this is supposed to look like. Like I'm supposed to be able to like rotate around, do my thing, and look at each of the little frames here. Like here, I can add an asset. But on mine, I can't do that. So like you see this? So like all these down here, these are all NFTs. They're loading right now. So it takes a minute. But like there's NFTs, you can add a link to a portal. You can see there's like Max Distro Worldwide. I'm gonna add a link there. Or like I can paste in a YouTube link or just put some words, right? So if I wanted to, I could just put a link to Max Distro's portal right there, and it'll show up as like a portal on my wall. And so now when I jump, I can jump directly from one to the other. That's interconnectivity. Yeah. So there. Now it's there. See?
I see. I like.
I don't like that. We'll fix that because that's an ugly way that that's showing up. But that doesn't matter. When I click on asset here, oh, I guess I'm having to actually click on the asset and then that loads it. Okay. So like if I'm here, like this one shows this, which is right. That's what I want it to do. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the other one now. Now that I've seen that I'm not crazy, going back. Okay, so an error happened. That's no bueno. No good. We can't have errors when we're doing this kind of thing. But you know what? It's a process.
It's a process.
I'm going to my 3D studio. It's going to come up. I am going to like to one of these little doohickeys over here, and I'm going to add in a portal because that is how it's done. And the fact that that is not working is driving me bananas. There we go. Now I see it. Like before I didn't see it. So like now I see it. So now I can add that asset in there. So there we go. So now I can put a portal to the Meta Mindshift show.
Yes. Preparing portal information.
And so when you see this, it'll show up likely as a doorway. And it might even show a dragon. Nope, it just shows the living room. So that's all right. But this is what it's supposed to look like. So there we go. So now you see your little door is just standing there in the middle of town. So now when I get to this, like in reality, it will pop me into the Meta Mindshift show.
Cool.
So think about this for business, for us as distributors. We now have the ability to connect all of our folks who have metaverse spaces, and then all the other folks who have YouTube destinations or their show destinations. We could connect to Pod TV's homepage. We could do all sorts of little really cool things like that. Or better yet, get Pod TV some NFTs and connect those. I can also connect my own NFTs. So I have a ton of NFTs out here, 150 so far. So that was my first NFT. I tell you about this one all the time, but you can't actually see it, so I'm not going to show you. Let's do Technifuture. I don't know what this one looks like, but yeah, let's do that. And then we'll make it like huge. There.
Okay.
So now you have a picture. So now think about that being a Coke bottle or like your products, or or a picture of you and your friends or your family or your Christmas party or a stocking for Christmas. Like, so I'm going to come in and I'm going to do this whole thing up. And when I do, we're going to come back and take another tour after I'm done. Because right now it's kind of like, what's going on? But when I get done, you just wait. You just wait.
It'll be smashing. It'll be, what's the old saying that they used to say about cars? It'll be tricked out.
Mm-hmm. So like, watch, I can do this too. Like, check this out. Watch what I'm about to do. I am going to, I don't have any teddies. I don't think NFTs. I don't think. Maybe. I don't think so, though. I do have dragons. So let's do a House of the Dragon. Let's first of all make it huge.
Dragon should always be huge.
And he's actually out in the middle of the world, so that makes it that much better. So, yeah. Like, let's... There, he's moving. And now I can tinker with him in a 3D way to do what I want to with it. So instead of it being where I had it, like I can do whatever I want to with it.
And these dragons look like the more normal kind of dragons, the dragons that we remember from history and all of that. Because, you know, Puff gave dragons a bad name.
Mm-hmm. So now that portal that used to be over there is now right there in the middle of the thing. And so if I had a different image, that image as my NFT, my digital asset, could look like an actual dragon. So like, think about 3D graphics and how you can make stuff look really, really cool. We can do a little some of that with this. And so that's what the plan is to try to do just what I just said. So I'm gonna work on it. Give me a couple weeks. Give me a week or two. Give me a couple days. But Max Distro Studios has arrived. Wait, let me not say that because we already have Max Distro Studios. So Max Studios in the metaverse. In the metaverse. That's like me and my niece's song. I told you me and my niece made a song about the metaverse, and so that's part of it is in the metaverse. What can you do in the metaverse? It's very simple. But anyway, so that's that. So now we have a 3D virtual space for Max Distro. We're gonna throw sea otters in there. We're gonna throw some bears and pandas in there. I don't know about pandas. We're gonna throw bears.
No, pandas are cool too. I do like pandas, even though I've heard that they're not the greatest creatures. Koala bears look cool too, so maybe some koala bears will be hanging out there. And Otter's friend, the seals, can be cool as well. But yes, there's all kinds of lovely animals that I love, including those that can be the quick ones, like the jaguars. Not the car.
Jaguar.
It's
the rich people way to say it. You can't just say jaguar. It's a jaguar.
A jaguar? So I guess it's a Ferrari.
No, that's just a Ferrari. Ferrari is a Ferrari. I don't know that there's it's not like a pharaoh because there's no I don't think there's an abbreviation for that. Like Lamborghini is Lambo.
Yeah, Lambo.
And then Jaguar is Jaguar. Not that those are at all in any kind of way in the same lane at all. But talking about cars, those two do exist a little bit. Most other cars have some sort of nickname, but I don't know of a nickname for a Ferrari.
Speaking of cars and nicknames, are there any, because I don't remember seeing any. Of course I did when I did the event that I mentioned to you before with Russell, see people skateboarding and bicycling and unicycling in Mad Bop, but I don't remember seeing any of the traditional vehicles. I'm not saying they weren't there even when we were in the Macy's Day Parade. I'm trying to remember if I saw any cars, motorcycles, trucks, buses, any of the traditional vehicles. So are there a lot of the traditional vehicles in the metaverse?
It depends on the metaverse. So you have a lot that are they're futuristic sci-fi spaces. I have a car. I have a couple cars parked right in front of, ironically, parked right in front of my oversized deer in alt space.
Okay.
So yeah, they exist. They're a thing. Uh, but it depends on whether or not they're relevant where you are. So, like in the multiverse, there are not vehicles yet. They're planning to make some. I think I saw them on, not on the development roadmap, but they were giving us a preview of like the dev space. And there are cars there. But you can't, like right now, you can't drive them. They do have, however, the metro. So they have the idea of like a substation, a subway and a substation in the multiverse. And so that's kind of really cool. Other places though, like it depends on if if it makes sense. So you won't see cars where you're like where your main means of transportation is floating or something else. So there's a lot of different ways to get around in the verse. You can walk, you can scoot, you can hop, or you can port. And remember, like you literally have the ability to go from like North Carolina to Virginia in like 5 seconds in the metaverse, whereas in reality that takes entirely too long. And so that is a benefit.
Yeah, definitely a benefit. There's a futuristic car that is I was watching, and you were showing the future studio and everything. And after I thought about putting in a spot for said car in a show yesterday, I was going like, they need to be in the metaverse, because if you look at a slingshot, you know that is my brother's car, one of a couple that he has. But I was going like, it looks futuristic already. It looks like the Batmobile. So they probably need to be in the metaverse, because it already looks like a futuristic car, and I don't know that it is even thought about in those lanes. Because like I said,
so let me be clear. So NFTs have cars. So yes, Ferrari, Lamborghini, all those, they came out with cars last year. And I want to say it was Lamborghini who came out first. I could be wrong on that. But it was over the summer in 2021. They came out with that because I remember reporting in my Web3 room that I co-founded. But there is those cars exist like in virtual spaces, yes. But are they in the metaverse? It depends on your view of the metaverse. Like, can someone replicate a car in alt space? Yes. Is that accessible in other alt spaces? Yes, if that person allows it to be. Does it make sense in all other ones? No. And is it something that you can get to from alt space into crypto voxels or in Decentraland? No, because alt space doesn't have NFTs natively. Like you can add on NFTs in kind of a kludgy way, but they are not native in that space. So it's a loaded question. Does anything have the metaverse yet? Or is anything available in the metaverse yet? And the answer is, well, do you believe that the metaverse exists already? Is your definition of the metaverse so vague that everything equates to the metaverse? Or have you narrowed it down, and are you specific about what the criteria for the metaverse is? Who's right? Who's wrong? Don't know. We'll see when it gets here. I just know it's not Facebook. That's all I'm saying.
definitely know that.
They're a component of the metaverse, but not the metaverse. There's a difference. So anyway, so that's what I wanted to show you, Mark Lee. And now I feel like when I started, I was a kid in a candy store, and now like I'm outside of the store and realizing that I am my age again. Like, like this is what happens when you go into virtual spaces. Like, you get excited, you start acting like a kid again because being a kid again is fun and frivolous and free. And then you come back to reality, and it's like, I'm back.
It's fun being a child and a kid and all of that. I still like my kid moments as well, and definitely, whether it was with the puppets or whether it's going into these different other spaces, yes, we all need to maintain that part of our lives, and often too often we don't do that. So I actually was enjoying totally going through the space that has been bought for Max Distro, and I look forward to seeing what designs you come up with and all in that space. Who knows, after I learn about design, maybe I'll be lucky enough that I get a little corner space that I get to decorate as well. But I definitely look forward to seeing the imagery and what goes on, and definitely look forward to seeing the spaces and how it is created and all in that way. And definitely can't wait to see the different art things that pop on and the different shows that pop up there and the variety of other things that'll be there, including some artwork and who knows, maybe even some other items that are there as well. Who knows, maybe even a book will pop up there. I'm just thinking of all kinds of crazy ideas myself as you were talking and everything.
See? Like, so the Meta Mindshift show has a space in Black Multiverse and the Multiverse. It also has, we saw today here in On Cyber. So we are going to have to create space for the Marc NiKole Show. We're going to have to create space for Making Max Distro. Though this week in Web3 is going to have a space. The online dinner party. Although technically we already have that space because that's where Thanksgiving was supposed to be. Also lots of other things, but yeah, so we can figure out ways to connect to all of those. So do you get like your own man cave? No. I'll give you a wall, maybe. I'll let you have a portal into whatever world you want, though. Like, you can go over there and do whatever you want to there. No, yeah, for sure. It's big enough to do all that. So, man, while you were thinking, or while you were talking, while you were talking, I was thinking of something, and I've now forgotten what that was because I started talking about your man cave, but I'll figure it out.
It'll come back, whatever it was, and all in that
It might not, though. It might just stay gone, and that's all right because that means it was never meant to be said.
Those things happen, and who knows, but definitely it'll be interesting. But yeah, I was actually typing up, and apparently one of the issues that exists with slingshots is that there is a NFT space named Slingshot as well. So maybe that's why there's not the many slingshot cars in the space, because I saw something that was having the same title that was also in the slingshot space. So that
you and them slingshots. Like, we're gonna have to create the slingshot verse for you. Go buy that domain.
Like I said, it's just
before we broadcast. Go buy that domain so that nobody else.
They're cool cars, and like I said, my brother turned me on to them. They just look cool. I've never driven in one, and I've
Tell him to go buy it.
passenger
in
one.
Has to buy that because it's good. Like, you gotta have that as a name. Because I didn't know what it was until you told me, but now, like, I remember what it is, and I'm surprised. No, I'm not gonna say that out loud. Mark Lee, you had said something. Man, I wish I could remember what it was. We're gonna put your otters up, so we gotta color code them, but we're gonna, and then, like, you want a Christmas tree out there too.
Yes, there's definitely a Christmas tree, complete with ornaments.
Otter ornaments.
Ornaments.
Is that what you said? Did you say ornaments?
I said they don't have to. I said ornaments. I did not say ornaments.
We should make that too, ornaments.
But
and sell them on the Max Distro store, which, by the way, go get your t-shirts and your gear, get a coffee cup to start the new year at maxdistro.store.
Yep. But the only other thing I said that was interesting, I'm sure some people were going like, "That's interesting," because the slingshot that I was referring to is the Polaris slingshot, to give it the full name, and that's the 3-wheel vehicle. But
They need to sponsor us.
there's also a slingshot that is the Web3 way to swap crypto, because that is a whole separate slingshot, and it's a
We
finance.
ain't talking about that. I guarantee you we will not be talking about that no time soon this year ever. But slingshot, if y'all do your own research, if you go out there research and do the research before touching anything sounds like slingshot, because that means that it's going to come back and hit you in the face. Or no, that's boomerang.
Boomerangs.
Slingshot is the
Slingshot is the one that's got like the
thing. The
thing and
ball that you
the
just
ball and the rock and you.
Okay, so see, even that, like I could see that being an explosion that comes back and hits you in the face. Like you don't want that.
You have to. It's like the bow and arrow and some of the other things that can be in some of these, spaces that existed back in the day. Yes, they can have their ways of not being good if they're not handled correctly and everything. Because I know we talk about the firearms that exist, and even a bow and arrow can be handled wrong and cannot be good for you if you don't know what you're doing. And this
Let
same
me ask you, Mark Lee, have you seen the Hunger Games?
I've read the Hunger Games. I don't remember I saw the movie, but I read both of them. Well, I think I read all of the Hunger Game books, but I know actually in the house I've got. Huh?
There are at least 3.
And I think I have all 3 of them. I know I've got 2. What I'm not sure about is the third one, because one is called Catch or something, and I know I have the main Hunger Games, and then I have the Catcher one. So that's what I can't remember. Is I have
called Catch a Cold.
Huh?
It's called Catch a Cold. It's not called Catch a Cold. But you know what? I read those, and somebody was so nice to provide them to me on PDFs. So when I read the book, it was in PDF form. But I read all 3 of them like that back in the day.
Back in the day
when I was young. I'm not a kid anymore. But sometimes I sit and wish I was a kid again.
You wish you were a kid again?
Sometimes.
Catching Fire.
Yes, I know. I just didn't want to say it.
Yeah,
again, sponsor us, We're going to be saying all these brand names.
Yeah.
Sponsorships our way. Come on.
That was the name of the book. I don't know that the book can sponsor us. Catching Fire.
They can certainly sponsor us.
Okay, they can definitely
We're
sponsor
us. We're Kit Kat or something.
And apparently there's 4 of them, and I do not have the 4th one.
Mark Lee, did you try the gingerbread Kit Kats when they were out?
I tried to find them, and I never did find them. I heard you say they're amazing, so I've got to get them.
I never tried it because I didn't want to do it that day, and then I never saw them again. So I told you about it, and I'm like, I was hoping that one of us.
Well, the last time I stopped by one of those chains, by the way, chain that's across from the Hayti, we will not mention your name, but it's one of the major chains, drugstore chain that's across from the Hayti. That being said, I will check again this afternoon in about an hour or 2 to see if we can't get the one. I know when I looked last time, I did not see it, but
we're gonna charge Hayti too for Hayti's gonna sponsor the show too. Tell them that they need a commercial, and we'll run it, and they'll go ahead and just
they do need that and everything. I did not know, and then I will get off this Hunger Game tip and everything, that there was a 4th book written in 2020. So the 4th book, because you're right, it was 3 original ones, and I think I did read all 3 of them. But apparently in 2020, there was a new book 10 years later called The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
Nobody read that. I didn't even hear about that. Maybe that was because it was 2020, but depending on when it was released in 2020, that didn't do well.
It must not have done well at all. I hadn't heard of it either. I just went to the book series in order, and I'm going like, when did that come out? But apparently it came out some 10 years later.
When did they write it? Did they write it before 2020, or did they write it at the beginning of 2020 when they went into lockdown and then release it at the end of 2020? Because that's a story in and of itself, the making of the 4th Hunger Games during the pandemic or something like that. Documentary.
Well, it was in the middle of the pandemic because the hardcover came out. That would explain why nobody read it. It came out on May 19th, 2020. So yeah, that was literally in the middle of the pandemic.
told you. You know, we're going to have to catch up because we've got documentaries that we want to get done. We got a whole bunch of people out here who got stories to tell, Mark Lee. And we need to get those stories told. So all you producers and documentarians out here that want to capture the Black culture and document journeys, reach out to us because we are interested in what you're doing. And we're building up some things over here on this side of the world.
Yeah, no doubt.
Cool.
The ironic thing is I might have not have the first one because I know I got Catching Fire, and I'm pretty sure I got Mockingjay, but I think I have all three of them. But that being said, the fourth book, just to leave it alone and everything, when you put down the highlights, you know, because they do popular highlights if you look on Amazon and other things. Yes, Amazon, we need a sponsorship as well. But it says the highlights include.
We're on Amazon, so that's okay.
It says, well, you know what they say, the show's not over until the Mockingjay sings She Said. That's a popular highlight. And the second popular highlight is Corey Lomas felt sure he spotted his first Mockingjay and he disliked the thing on sight. That's not exactly jumping out at me, either one of those, but apparently that's the popular highlights in this book. That is not a good sign for the fourth book. I'm seeing why I didn't get great reviews because that's not.
But okay, that's enough. Yep, I agree 100%. I'm not going to argue with that because there's no point. I was going to say some things, but there's not a point in that at all in any kind of way. But man, yeah, so like think about all the people who were hunkered down in 2020 that decided to put their thoughts into writing and are sitting on those books right now and did not do anything with them. Journalists such as yourself, Mark Lee, that just decided to start writing and just wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote. And every day they talked about those little exercises they did in their living room. And they talked about the challenges trying to find masks. And they talked about all that stuff.
All that stuff. And there's
The Hunt for Lysol. That's the fifth book. The Great Hunt for Lysol.
The Great Hunt for Lysol.
And it's a documentary. Yes. It's a documentary of what happened during COVID-19 pandemic, year one.
Year one, The Great Hunt for Lysol. It sounds like a serious book and a serious thing. And you're right, there's so many books out there. I'm actually staring at about roughly, let's see, I'm not going to say their titles, but there is one that's like Michael Crichton book and one that's a Chris Gardner book and even the Arnold Bontemps and Langston Hughes books. I'm staring probably at about roughly 12 or 13 books nearby and all of that, because the other thing that books became very popular for during the pandemic was to lift up the computer so that you got the right view. They get all in that space. So that's the other thing the books became very popular for. I don't know if that was their original purpose, but it did become a thing during the pandemic because people got more on their computers, more on their technology, and then they had to adjust. So I do know that.
Because you know what? That's funny because there was an event that we were doing. We're both a part of a certain event. During this event, one of the guys was telling this girl that her laptop, that the camera needed to move. And so they were kind of like giving her direction on how to fix it. And he says, go get a box. And like this happened repeatedly, like 3 or 4 people. And they all got up and went and got boxes. And I'm like, why in the hell do people have boxes ready, like just chilling right next to the computer? But yeah, you're right. Like people had to like start fixing their keyboards and their sitting positions for the cameras, and that's funny. But you know, I thought you were going to say that books became really popular for reading in 2020, but they didn't. That never happened. That didn't happen. What I did the first couple of months, the way that I got through. It's 3:30 p.m. Let's go grab a glass. Hold on. Sorry, that's Google. Google wanted to interject there and tell me that it's 3:30 p.m. So one of the things that I did was listen to the zombie apocalyptical tales. And I started out with one that was 143 hours. And so it was an Audible book that was recorded. And I just listened to that like in my spare time and as things were happening. So now I'm used to always hearing noise and TV of some kind in the background, because like I would go to sleep listening to it too, and like I might rewind, but I usually caught it all, or was at least caught up by the time the morning came. I still understood what was going on. So yeah, my head was filled with all that stuff during the early pandemic, but it was actually kind of, I won't say soothing, but it was a way to get through, because I had a journey. I was trying to figure out what's going to happen.
Too many similarities, because I think I've told you before, and I can definitely relate, because before getting involved in and even doing the pod DV experience and everything, I definitely remember turning on the TV and all in that space, and then going watching some of the reruns from long ago. I mean, many years ago, like maybe the 2000s or even the 2010s and stuff like that. And there might have been some from the 90s, and before that, because I might be sitting there watching Columbo or Criminal Mind or one of some of the other ones I used to watch, NCIS, but all the seasons, wherever they were at and everything. And I might watch maybe after being done with computer work, whatever that was, or coming back from 8 I might turn it on and start watching it. Let's just say 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, and get through till about 2 or 3 in the morning. And then, you wake up, and sometimes it'd be even in the middle of the afternoon, and you're going like, when I went to sleep, House was solving some medical thing. How come we're now on Criminal Mind? Because somehow, oh, that's right, the Sandman got me. That's what happened. The Sandman got me. So it was some of those watching TV, and the TV decided to watch you, because I think like sometimes the TV is watching us more than we were watching it, even in the pandemic era.
Somebody should write a book about that too. Like, it's very 1984-ish, but the TV that watches you instead of you watching it.
There's actually a book that's very scary. It's scary for, and I wish I could think of the title of it, because it's scary for particularly the ladies of the world, because it was written, I want to say after 1984, but it's basically, and it maybe even made it into a movie, but within this particular story, the house, which has all the electronic supplies, winds up taking over the house. So literally it locks the door, it takes over the house, and it actually does some very not pleasant things to the woman of the house. And all
that is the entity, I believe. I think that's the entity.
I didn't know the title of it. I just remember
it might be an entity is like that. It's a adultish horror movie.
It's a very adultish kind of book.
Yeah, and I read the book too. I read that book when I was very young. I should not have read that book when I was that young, but I did. There are a couple of different movies like that. Speaking of movies, next up for us, I think we're trying to decide, what are we doing next? We're on Black Mirror. We're actually doing Black Mirror and Friends. What is it called?
Friends from college.
Friends from college. I keep wanting to say Friends from the Reunion, but there's that one.
It's Friends from college. And actually, I think when you first turned me onto it, I said that it reminded me of a couple of movies that used to be out and everything, but theirs was not further down the line in terms of the reunion. But there was a show that was, I think, a commercial success called The Big Chill, but that's what it kind of reminded me of. And there was another one called The Secaucus Something, which was based kind of a big chill, but it was folks that went to college, went into the professional world, and then they had a reunion wherever they had a reunion. I think in The Big Chill, they were in the Northeast somewhere, but don't quote me on that, even though I saw that movie and everything. But it kind of reminded me of that. But I've been enjoying that series, and definitely, I think I got up to season 2, and I think you said there are 2 seasons and episode 5. So hopefully there's only 9, and hopefully I can make it through the rest either today or tomorrow. But also,
I think there's only 8. But also Black Mirror, we're not even close. So like, I think you're not even on this. You watched 1 episode of that, so we got to catch up and finish at least the first season.
Yes, I do.
Be mindful that we're skipping that first episode, and then I think we're either taking a trip over into Game of Thrones world, or we're gonna check out You.
Okay.
You is the one about stalkers, so I love that one. You is fantastic TV. But anyway, you guys, we're done. We're like at the end. So Mark, you want to take us out of here? Tell people where to find us and all that jazz.
Well, I can definitely do that. Well, one place that they can find us is in about 2 hours, because very shortly I'm going to have to make a departure. But definitely, this was actually a recorded episode. But that being said, if they weren't paying attention on Tuesdays and all in that space on Tuesdays at 6 o'clock, you can catch the Meta Mindshift show with that lovely lady to my left and everything, because she'll be definitely bringing you all kinds of information and give you that mind shift, because a lot of people need that mind shift and they don't even know that they need that mind shift, and sometimes they get shocked when the mind shift happens. It's really fun as a producer watching the show and seeing the mind shift happen on air, because it's going like they have that moment of like, wait a minute, I didn't get it. Oh, now I got it. So they have those moments and all in that space. So it's quite fascinating to watch the mind shifts take place. But that is going on. And tomorrow they can catch, or Wednesday, I should say, they can catch at between 4 and 6, the online dinner party. I think that I heard NiKole reference that earlier, but yes, that is a ongoing show. And I do think that very soon, and maybe there'll be some gamification taking place. So the mystery guest, who knows who the mystery guest will be, might be coming in there as well. And of course, the main thing that's going on is Max Distro. We love what Max Distro is all about. And we're trying to get the podcasters, the live streamers, the vodcasters, the webinar people, all of those folks, even the coaches, to take their message to the max, and they need to get in touch with us. And as you heard NiKole mention, that there are products, and those products need to move. So we need to see some sales in that space as well. So maxdistro.live, go over there, check it out. We've got cups, we've got duffel bags, we've got even sports bras for the women folks. Hey, if you want to wear one and you're men folk, go for it. I'm not going to make any comments one way or the other, but I mean, if you want to buy one for yourself, or maybe you want to buy it for your lady, go ahead and do whatever you want to do. But definitely that is available. There is a notepad, and there's again, you just heard NiKole say that you got to get your writing on. What are you going to write on? Some people are writing on envelopes and writing on napkins and stuff like that. Why not write on actual paper? It's a novel idea, but they can do that as well. And we do have the notepads that can make that happen, and all in those lines. At some point, I got to talk to NiKole about this, but I'm thinking that we need to get, just because I know that I've been wearing the same one for the Road to the Apollo. It's a nice one, but at some point I need to get a new suit. So maybe we'll order some suits at some point as well, but that'll have to be a high-end item and all in that space. And I don't know if they are offering that yet, but hey, keep it in mind.
I don't think they do, but we can maybe get some cufflinks.
Cufflinks can work as well as some of the other things, but yes, and maybe we can talk them into suits and other items in that lane at some point or another. But neither here nor there. Like, we can talk them into suitcases, because people might be wanting to take trips soon, and all in that space. So we'll see what other items are there. But you need to go visit the ones that are there. And all you podcasters, live streamers, podcasters, and all you folks, we would love to have a consultation call with you, so that we can have a conversation to find out what is going on and how we can help you. So definitely, you can reach me at definitely the Max Distro email. And of course, there's the other email as well, which I've memorized. Not always got the other one memorized. So I'm going to now turn it over to NiKole, who's going to give those 2 emails that you can reach us at. And then we're going to get on out of here and all in that space, because I know it's one of those emails that has Max Distro in the title. Started to give the Blues Radio one, but I'd rather it gave me the official one. So if NiKole will kindly claim that one, then I'll get us on out of here with some sort of 30 seconds or whatever else I may find in our space and all of that. But this has been a fun conversation, and I look forward to hearing what's going to happen on the Meta Mindshift show later on in the week.
It's Christmas time here in the Metaverse, and so we're jumping through a couple of little portals about Christmas. And so jump into the Christmas verse with me at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesdays. We're going to be talking about that and checking out a few of our creators, because that's what we like to do. But Mark Lee mentioned some stuff that's really cool. So where can you reach us? So for consultations, to get a show, to get your show set up, or to get some additional information on how to get to navigate your show, you're going to be able to go to maxdistro.live, or send us an email at info@maxdistro.live. See how easy that is? info@maxdistro.live. And I will be able to set something up. You can also schedule with us at calendly.com/maxdistro, or you can give us a call at 703-358-7366. Leave a message and say, yo, take my message to the max, and we'll call you back. Mark Lee, when is the online dinner party?
It is on Wednesdays. It is on Wednesdays between the hours of 4 and 6. If the conversation is going well, it might sometimes go a little bit past that, but it's generally 4 to 6 on Wednesdays. Still trying to line up the guests for some upcoming shows in December. Have some people in mind, including a Indian hip hop artist and some other folks. And like I said, that mystery guest will be returning. So, if you want to go do the Jeopardy thing and figure out where the guests will be coming from, they usually come from historical things, like in the past. Annie Oakley made an appearance out of nowhere and was a mystery guest. And another time, Madame Durand, I believe was her name, but she was the woman that walked down the streets of England and all of that things. And she actually walked down the street with a I actually need to hold on a second. Some people need to close their ears because it was a big animal that is related to another smaller animal that folks may not be the biggest fan of and all of that way, but that's what they walk down the street with and everything. But some people like to be lying.
Go back. What? It was a big animal related to a small animal. Are we talking about good animals or bad animals? You said people don't like them. What kind of animals are you talking about, sir?
Well, there's a certain animal that I know that you love dearly because you have one in your own house and everything. There's another animal that is smaller that's also considered a house pet as well. And so
you started talking about, okay, so you're talking about cats, but like what you started talking about, I'm thinking walking down the streets of England and like something people don't like to see when they're walking down the streets. And I'm thinking you're talking about rats or something like that. That's gross. And I'm glad that's not what you were talking about.
No, I was actually talking about, this animal that is related to the other animal can be seen in the zoo. But yeah, she walked down to England in the early 19th century with two, I want to say it was two, it might have been one because she also had it at her front door, lions literally with her. So I'm thinking that this woman who was also a activist and political person and also was in political office.
That's the way to get your message out there.
That is definitely the way to get your message out. That is totally to the max because
she's already taking that message to the max.
I'm thinking nobody's messing with her if I got two lions. And that would I know we're winding down, we're actually slightly over, but I remember me and my dad and my younger brother, and I don't know if the woman is still around or if she still got the animals around, but there was a young woman that used to go jogging on a regular basis here in the city of Durham. And the one thing that folks noticed about her was that she had not one, but two Doberman strapped to her and everything. So I'm thinking that when she was jogging, not many people were messing with her because, like I said, those Dobermans were probably like, come on over here if you want to, but we might eat you after the fact. But yeah, she literally would run down around the neighborhood near where Dad lives at now, and I think around Central. But yeah, she had those two Dobermans with her and everything, and they were not looking like they were going to be having anybody stop by and even have friendly conversation. So definitely, I think that they were the warning that you didn't want to go over there. So like I said, that was at least a decade or so ago. So whether the person's still around, whether they're still running, only others that are not in this room know or don't know. But I know I don't know. So that's just, some people are going to let people know, don't mess with me, whether it's with a lion or with a Doberman. So some folks will definitely take security very seriously, and you can't blame them.
Well, that is quite amazing in many, many, many different ways and for many different reasons. I think that that's fairly cool.
Yep.
Mark Lee, when it comes to taking your message to the max, there is often something that we say, and that is to let Max Distro take your message to the max.
we want Max Distro to take the message to the max. We want to be, hey, you just heard earlier today in this particular show that there are not 10 destinations, or if that's actually my hand 5, but this would be 10. There are not 10 destinations. There are actually not 20 destinations.
Not even 30. Not 30.
Not 30,
Not 40.
not 40. And we thought that there was 50, but then we have recently
But
learned
wait, there's more.
exactly. It's more than 50 destinations. So there are plenty of ways that we can get that message to the max and all along those lines and all in that space, to borrow another one of those catchphrases, and that goes on regularly. But we're going to get on out of here. I want to show the 10-second Max Distro commercial and get on out of here. But as always, this has been fun and enjoyable.
Wait, Mark Lee, hold on just a minute, because you know what? We have a few things that we are talking about, and one of those things, because I am stalling for time for just a second because I have my own surprise and I want to get done. But we talk about taking your message to the max, and you know what? We have this very cool thing that we also talk about, and that is how to support Black businesses. So when we are talking about Black businesses, we want Black businesses, and we saw like this big push over the last couple of years where people are really trying to claim and own and support. There's this big movement trying to reclaim generational wealth for our communities and get us back to the place where we should be. And one of those movements is how to grow a Black business. Now, this has a story, and I'm going to take a few minutes and actually talk about this because it's important. And this story is that, you know, a couple of us business owners were sitting around and we were looking at SEO, which is search engine optimization, or how Google responds to our words and our different content and our different forms of media and things like that. And so one of those things that we saw was that Google actually said that how to grow a Black business had equated to 0% of search traffic.
Did you say
and so
zero? Like
zero,
zero?
zero with it, a C arrow, like 0%. And that's not even 1%. And so no one, and I personally believe that that is an incorrect statistic. However, it is what we want to disrupt. So we think about Web3, which is what I'm all about, and what you are slowly becoming all about. But you are about disruption, and you are about fixing disenfranchisement and things like that. And so that's why we make a great team in a lot of different reasons. But when we're thinking about this, having no one search for how to grow a Black business is something we cannot stand for. So I and some others in our space absolutely came together, and we started, brainstorming, like, what can we do to make sure that how to grow a Black business is out there. And so one thing that I did was set up a Twitter. That Twitter is how to grow a Black business. You can search for the hashtag how to grow a Black business. Go and put on your own put on your store, your tweets, your YouTubes, anything that you're recording, putting out to the internet. Put the hashtag how to grow a Black business, and then take it one step further. And that is actually getting out there and every day doing a search for how to grow a Black business, so that we can tell Google, hey, we're here, we matter, our businesses matter. And not only are we looking for resources to help our businesses grow, we want you to support the initiative to help our businesses grow. So how can you do that? How to support Black businesses? We are going to comment on something that they've said. You are going to comment with words, not those little 3-letter acronyms like LOL. You're not going to use emojis. You're going to use those words that you learned in grammar school, and you're going to put them into a comments box and then hit enter. So that you can support your brother and sister, whoever that is. You're going to like their posts. If you see a post from a brother or sister out here, they might not be your direct brother or sister, but like their posts. Leave a positive review for Black businesses if you see them out in your space. And then also follow up on social media, and follow them on social media. Matter of fact, do me a favor right now. No matter where you are, listen, Max Distro is a Black business. Black-owned business right here. So between me and that guy, this is a Black-owned business, and we are definitely proud of that fact. And we are putting out things for the Black community to help the Black community grow for sure. And others are welcome to jump on board with that also. But it is really important. Go out to YouTube, follow Max Distro. Go out on LinkedIn, follow Max Distro, and that is Max Distro Worldwide or maxdistro.live. You can usually find us at hashtag or at mention us at Get Max Distro. It is not distribution. It is not Maxwell. It is Max Distro. So make sure that you are you're tagging the right thing, and then follow both of us because we're out here too.
Yeah, we're not here and all of that, and I think we're doing an event in the very near future. It might be even taking place later on today, but there is this lovely song that I actually learned, and I thought it was the other way, but it's actually the first way. So it's actually, the song is 12 Days of Christmas, and I was actually thinking it was the days leading into Christmas, and I think a lot of people do celebrate that way, but I was recently informed that it's actually the opposite way. It's Christmas and afterwards going toward January, and all in that space. So definitely that is something that folks can do, but I think we're going to be releasing some stuff on the 12 Days of Christmas. Who knows, that first item might be that notepad that I was referring to that can help in that whole writing and all in that space, but that just crossed my mind as well. And then I saw this little thing up there as well, and then I'm getting ready to get out of here, but something popped up that I had not seen before, so I don't know if there's anything that people need to know about this lovely gift box that's up there, because I'm going like, there's a gift box up there. I know nothing about.
Yes, cool, and this is what you need to know about that gift box, is that you can fill up your own gift boxes when you go to maxdistro.store and rep your message. So if you want us to create some shirts for you that are specific and have either our logo, your logo, whoever's logo, we can come up with something for that. But it is really cool that you can go out there and support Max Distro. So go buy some shirts, buy some cups, and tank tops, those little sports bras if you like them. Go out there and buy a duffel bag so you can go to the gym and think about maximizing your message at the gym.
And we're going to play that. We're going to play that message to get us on out of here. As always, it's been an amazing time hanging out with NiKole. Always good when we get together, because that's why we formed the partnership around Max Distro. So right now we're going to get on out of here. And of course, we'll see you later on. I know that definitely folks will be seen even later on this evening and afternoon and throughout the week. But hey, come and join us. Check out some of the amazing things going on. We're here to get on out of here. We'll catch you later.
And remember, in 2023, that ain't free.
That ain't free. And it's an S word that is going in there as well. But it ain't free.
Ish. We didn't put the S word on there. It's ish. Ish is not free. It's not free. It's not free.
It's not.
Look, it's not free, Mark Lee. It's not free.
Too many people are thinking that it is. They were definitely doing that in the years past. And guess what? From 2023, and I would actually argue that we need to say from 2023 and beyond, that ish ain't free, because some folks be like thinking that they can get away with it after 2023. So
2024, I'm gonna just shut the door. That's exactly. We're gonna be rhyming all day long. That's
what we do. 2025, that's a bunch of jive.
This is silly. All right, roll the credits.